Jakub, hey, congratulations for your documentary Pianoforte.
Thank you. Thank you.
More of a congratulations that this film is being being shown at Sundance Film Festival, one of the most prestigious film festivals in the world. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, like we all are like really excited and like a little bit tired because we just squeeze the time for post-production to deliver the best film we can for the world premiere. Yeah, but yeah, it's like really like this kind of trust, and it's like really important for us, and it's like privilege to premiere our film there. You know, having like the title Pianoforte and description that it's like about classical pianists. I think like Sundance can help the film to get to the wider audiences also, and we were thinking about those people who are not listening to classical music yet.
Yeah, most excellent. So let me ask this question of how did this project actually started for you? What sparked you to do this?
Okay, so I was born and raised in Poland, and it's like this piano Olympics happens every 5 years, and like Poland is like really like football community, but like every 5 years during October, like the whole society like shifts from football to classical music, and like cheering for those people, and like you played those scherzos like too fast, and you can like hear it like when you are driving a bus or taking a ride with a taxi, and people are really discussing it. So it was like always around me in a way. I don't have like a classical musical education. I don't play any instrument. But from 2016, I was working with Chopin Institute as a filmmaker. I was making some videos, and that's how I've gotten access to the backstage, also, to rehearsals. I got to get to know like some of the musicians and artists, and if you are like seeing the pianist like warming up and or during the rehearsal, it triggers in my mind like the questions like how he or she like got here, and like how the path looks like, and yeah, and so I started to like to talk with them. It was when I started, it was a year after the previous edition. So I was trying to get this permission to do it from them, and we ended up with Chopin Institute being our partner and co-producer, and we've got like this really exclusive access to the backstage. And because we developed like this serious like friendly relations with our protagonists, we could be there with them with this really intense moments, and that and the stake for them is like almost everything. And if they're gonna be the like world like the best concert pianist in the world, or they're gonna go back home and they will need to like struggle like again maybe.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did you choose your subjects for your film? Did you chose it randomly, or you had it pre-selected, or were there more subjects?
Yeah, it was like it was a like research was like really intense. There was before the competition, there is something it's called like preliminaries. So there is like 160 of them, just playing in a smaller hall for different jury members, and they are just picking up like the 87 of them that will perform during the competition itself. And so I asked all 160 of them to record self-tapes. They just answered like, 3 or 4 simple questions, but I could like see them, see how they talk. And from that number, I arranged like 40 or 50 online meetings. So before the preliminaries started, I already like had some view like who's like interesting, who triggers my interest, because we didn't use any kind of like we didn't judge them by their music. We judged them in a way, not judge the bad word, but as a human beings, like who is like interesting for us and where is like the story. And then during like 12 days of preliminaries, we could like follow them with camera, and then we choose our subjects. That's how we chose our protagonists for the film. So it was like a longer period. Like some of them needed to be a little bit narrowed down in editing room. So there is like this 6 core protagonists. Yeah, but like from the very beginning, like our deal also with them, in a way, was that because we started shooting before the competition started, so we just like send the signal, we are not looking for someone who will win. We'll like cheer for you, of course, but we want to be with you no matter what happens. If you're gonna like go home after a couple of days after stage 1, or if you're gonna be in a final, we'll be there with you. So that thing, I think, like also like triggered this kind of a trust that you need to do the film like this.
So how do you do the filming without being too invasive? Because this competition is already a lot of pressure by itself, besides having another camera on them.
Yeah, so we needed to be like really gentle. We gathered a crew that we worked before. We knew that they are like excellent in documentary filmmaking. They're excellent as a human beings, and like this really empathetic ones in a way. So whenever we felt that we are kind of interfering, maybe that was the main thing, not to interfere with the performance on stage, and that was like the priority for us as well. Yeah, so just being a gentle and like watching what's happening. But I remember also like even we've got like this really intense emotional moments. And I remember, for example, with Eva, I asked her like just before, during the warm-up before the final concerto, and I asked like maybe we should leave the room, and she said like to me, no, please stay, I want you to be here with me like till the end, when I'm gonna like step on stage. So because like during like these intense moments, like also like the friendship is developing a little bit faster in a way. So at some point we were like during that days of competition, we were like the closest ones, maybe.
Now, you also captured their lives before the competition. How did you pull that one off? Because they're all over the world, in their own way. You must have used multiple crews for something like this.
Like we try to visit them with our main crew. For example, Italy and Poland, it was like no problem. But like some of the countries, because of lockdowns and because of COVID, like for example, China, back then it was 21 days of quarantine, like 11 days at the quarantine hotel and 10 days in another hotel or in your home. So we couldn't go there. but what we did is because I graduated from Łódź Film School, and like on your directing course, you've got like 10 people, for example, and half of them are from Poland and half of them are from abroad. So you've, after a couple of years in film school, you're developing like this really strange network. So for example, in China, Xuan Mei, and like he's like a brilliant cinematographer that finished the same film school as I did, did the Hall part, for example, and we were providing the local crews with footage that we have, like with that protagonist, just to have like the contained form in a way, but also for them to get to know the protagonists. And we really precisely scheduled the shooting days with protagonists also. So, okay, you're gonna, get your dress ready with the dressmaker. So that's a great scene for us. We should be there with a camera, etc. So, and it was like, at some point, it was like a funny moment. We were shooting with Philip and Anya, so our core crew in Italy, and at the same time we had local crew in China working, and also in Russia. So there is like all these time zones. So it ended up that we almost didn't sleep at all, because we had like a Zoom meeting like before they are shooting, and then we were watching dailies and then going to our shooting. And yeah, it was like this one huge overlap for 1 or 2 days. That was hard. And I was thinking that I'm not making like a this noble documentary film anymore, but it's like this crazy reality piece, reality TV piece. Yeah.
I know. I can't imagine the challenge of doing this film, because it's such an international competition. Everyone was speaking different languages. Did that prove to be very, very difficult for you?
It was we've got like a seven or eight languages in a film, and some different Chinese dialects also, which I found out are like really different, and you need like different translators for that. But like I rarely used I rarely use help from interpreters during the shooting time, because I've got the feeling that you can kind of like read emotions from body language. You are seeing what's happening, and of course we as a crew we had like different people speaking different languages. So Russian, Italian, English was not that kind of a problem for us, or Slovenian, but with Chinese or Japanese it was like pretty difficult. But I think it was also like a key, and I'm not really joking right now, but I think like no one from protagonist like believed that we will like translate all the footage. So at some point they could be, without a mask, because like, okay, they are following us for 4 or 5 hours. They are not gonna translate all of that, but we did, and I think it also like helped, this with this fly on the wall style of documentary, when you're like building scenes more just observing people, and looking at the dialogue scenes not with you as a filmmaker, but with someone else. So I think also like the different languages helped.
Yeah, Absolutely, absolutely. Well, one more thing is, when people get to chance to watch your film at Sundance, and hopefully more people after Sundance, what is the most important lesson or the take that they should walk away with after watching your movie?
Hmm. Uh, when I was like witnessing all those scenes, or like when I was like in an editing room, uh, I was thinking like about myself being like in that age, you know, when you are going into adulthood in a way, and it can be like pretty scary, but it can be like really joyful at the same time, and everything seems open, um, and you are like, I've got the feeling that you are learning like the most important lessons back then, and um, mm, and of course, like on the other side, as a person who is listening to classical music as well, if someone who is not listening to this kind of music will, like, after watching this film, you know, listen to one of the, you know, your favorite protagonists from the film performance during the Chopin Piano Competition, and it's everything is online, everything is for free. Yeah, it would be like super cool. I think after the screening, yeah.
Most excellent. Well, I thank you very much for speaking to us about it. But real fast, I want to remind that your film is under the documentary competition at Sundance. Do you feel the same pressure like these pianists do?
Yeah, I'm always nervous before the premiere. So yeah, I'm really nervous, but it's a part of doing that and sharing the film. And yeah, yeah, let's see. I don't know, you know, but there is like 12 films in our section, so I've got the feeling that there is like 12 participants during the finals in Chopin piano competition. So I've got this strange ticket that already passed our film to the final. So that's really cool.
Awesome. Well, we're cheering for you. So thank you very much for this conversation and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.